You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fingers and say, that's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy. That's the bad guy.
Okay, we'll start with this. It would seem that unified super bantamweight champion Ellie Scottney has some fight news coming soon, and I can only imagine that the news is the undisputed super bantamweight title fight has been made. The fight between the only two champions in the super bantamweight division right now, Ellie Scottney and Mayeli Flores. Ellie's got 3 of the 4 titles, and Mayeli holds the last one. I'm fairly confident that's what the news is, because up until recently, Mayeli was supposed to be fighting Nazarena Romero, then champion, for a second time in a rematch. But all talks for a rematch have since gone cold. And if you're Mayeli Flores, you don't make fighting Nazarena for a second time what you could make fighting Ellie Scottney. Ellie Scottney, who sports a professional record of 11 wins with no losses and no draws, no recorded knockouts. To Mayeli Flores, who sports a professional record of 13 wins with 1 loss and 1 draw, 4 knockouts, having never been knocked out in 15 professional bouts. Both fighters have a similar number of fights and similar experiences. Mayeli's been in there with some of the best, some of the more solid fighters at or around these weights. Mayeli doesn't have as many wrinkles as Ellie Scottney in terms of her boxing. Mayeli's a pressure fighter. What you see is what you get. Some might say that she's wild and one-dimensional, but you can be quite formidable in that one dimension, and Mayeli Flores is. Last in action in May of this year when she unseated Nazarena Romero as champion for the WBA title over to Ellie Scottney, who was last in action in July of this year against then-champion Yemi Mercado. It was a unification match. Ellie Scottney doesn't have a lot of fights, but she does have one of the stronger resumes of anyone in women's boxing right now. Every single belt she holds, she won from a reigning champion. She won the IBF from Shernika Johnson, the WBO from Sigolene Lafarve, and the WBC from Yemi Mercado. Now all she needs is Mayeli's WBA title to complete the set and make history in the women's super bantamweight division, because there's never been an undisputed champion there before. Not in the 4-belt era. Whoever wins this fight becomes the inaugural undisputed super bantamweight champion. The first. I'm not riding the fence on this one. I am going with Ellie Scottney to win what I think will be a difficult fight, a dangerous fight, a tough night at the office. But having seen all of Ellie Scottney's fights as a professional, I'd be a fool to count her out. The common theme in Ellie Scottney's fights is she's often taking on fighters that are very much more experienced than she is, with more fights and more rounds in the bank, beating them and making it look easy. It's what usually happens. It's what literally happened in the last fight back in July. So against Mayeli Flores, I imagine that Ellie's keys to success are going to be based on movement and counters. Emphasis on movement, not to be confused with running and backpedaling and trying to play keep away from the opponent. Movement in terms of angles and pivots. Rolling with punches, riding punches, getting under punches, stepping around the opponent, turning them. Countering while she does it, emphasis on counters, because Mayeli Flores likes to throw punches in bunches, but many of them are wide, sweeping shots that can be countered, that you can catch her many times coming in, so long as you have the poise and the accuracy. Ellie's got it. I trust that Ellie can capitalize off those countering opportunities while being defensively responsible and being mobile. I trust that Ellie, when the smoke settles, will be the last woman standing at 122 when they fight. And it would seem that an official fight announcement is imminent. I'm looking forward to it. Ellie Scottney on points is the pick.
You look so good in person.
Thank you.
For
I
real.
appreciate that.
Hey, what you waste that? I love you. What a guy. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad.
Arabia, is that a real background?
Hey, Stat, could you stop
Yes.
smiling? Can you stop smiling? You.
Arabia is.
Nah, yo, bro, or some G, yo, bro, or some G shit. We gotta have boyfriend here, yo.
Right. Oh, shit.
I told you that.
My bad.
Nah, like it's all like. Okay, we can move on to football then.
Stat. Oh my God.
Yo, Stat, let's do the football. I guess that answered the question about Floyd. When I see you taking off some time,
I'm mesmerized by Stat.
this nigga here, bro.
I did not know you looked that good in person. My bad, bro. You're amazing.
All right, hey, we gonna have to ask you to go, my nigga. I mean, I have to ask you to go, man. I'm gonna pay you for your time, for being here. I appreciate you. But I love you, my nigga.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, no. I can't. I asked you the first time. I don't have no problems with you, but I'm gonna pay you for your time. But you can't violate, bro. I told you that.
I'm not, though. I'm not.
Nah, I told you niggas boyfriends in here. You know me with my brother
Oh,
and all
shit,
that.
my bad, bro. My bad.
Nah. But I appreciate your time.
It's me.
Well, if you want to wait for us outside, you could, but I'm not going to sit and not value your time neither. If you want to wait for me, you could, but I appreciate it, bro. You gotta step out. Thank you, man. Yeah, no problem.
So you see what happened there. Adrian Broner made an appearance on the Is What It Is podcast, and he couldn't keep his eyes off of Treasure Wilson, who is quite attractive, by the way. But there's a time and a place for everything, and that was not the time and place for that.
Awkward.
I think Cameron handled that awkward situation as best as he could, and ended it as best as he could, all things considered, that Adrian was being quite disrespectful, not just to Treasure Wilson, but to the other panel members and the podcast itself. The irony is that a lot about Adrian Broner didn't actually change. The behaviors exhibited on that podcast not that long ago are the same behaviors that he's been exhibiting for years. The difference is that people don't think it's funny anymore. There's nothing new about what Adrian Broner went up there and did. Under the influence, acting like a child, being obnoxious, being disrespectful. This is what he's always been. This is what he's always done.
It's nothing new.
Maybe what is new or what is different is Adrian's not as popular as he used to be. He's not making money anymore. He's barely fighting. And there's little reason to put up with this kind of behavior from this guy.
This wino.
Still doing his best to emulate a late 90s, early 2000s rapper while seated next to late 90s and early 2000s rappers that have since evolved, have since changed, rolled with the punches, so to speak.
Well, Adrian Broner is stuck on stupid.
I never found Adrian amusing or funny. I always looked at him as a wannabe, a Floyd Mayweather wannabe.
Big bro.
Kissing up to Floyd and coattailing Floyd. I always found Adrian Broner annoying. I think he has an annoying voice, an annoying face.
I always thought he was annoying.
And I guess more and more people inside and outside of the boxing space are starting to share in that opinion that it's not funny.
Even though Adrian is only doing now what he's been doing for years, the same behaviors that they would have laughed at before, they're not laughing now.
It's because he didn't evolve. It's because he didn't change. It's because after all these years, he's still acting the same way, like he never grew up.
And what if I told you that Adrian Broner is really only 36 years old? He's not even that old a guy, but look at him.
I would say that's a byproduct of not living the life of a fighter, not living a healthy life in general. It's very clear this guy's got a substance abuse problem.
But that isn't new either. What's going on with Adrian is that he never changed. Where a Cameron Giles, a Mason Betta have evolved and adapted to the times, and the same could be said about a 50 Cent. The same could be said about a Jay-Z.
They evolved, where a guy like Adrian is trying to emulate how those guys used to be when they were younger, trying to emulate how they used to behave. Those guys themselves have all grown up.
What he aspires to emulate is how those guys were about 20 or so years ago, 20 or more.
While he himself is in his mid-30s, inching closer and closer to 40. This kind of behavior from this kind of guy, it's not funny anymore. And it won't be long before Adrian Broner is shadowboxing outside of your local 7-Eleven.
Asking you for $1.
I'm going high.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Let's take that over.
Yeah.
Nigga,
You're good.
I'm sorry.
I'll do it again. 5.
Somebody, this nigga want to talk to me. And nigga, you a alky, nigga. I don't want to talk to you, nigga. I just needed you for entertainment for the show. Fucking junkie. Go ahead, man. My bad.
No, you're all good. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back. Now let's get into our underdog picks of the day on Thursday.
Was former promoter Raging Babe who said the writing was on the wall a decade ago with Adrian Broner. He was enabled at every turn, rewarded for self-destruction, drowning in debt. One day, he'll have his own ESPN 30 for 30, a tragic story in the making. I think it's a tragic story already. I've been saying it's a tragedy waiting to happen, all while everybody lapped it up, laughing at Adrian Broner's innumerous shenanigans. So outwardly, watching how different the reactions are now to what they were years ago and realizing that a lot about Adrian didn't actually change. This is the same shit he was always doing. The difference is now that he's down in the dumps, he's not on the up and up, he's on the outs. Oh, well, now it's not funny anymore. So let me give you a sobering take. There are a lot of labels for a guy like Adrian, but I like to keep it simple. Cameron called him a junkie. I've always referred to Adrian Broner as a loser. He's a loser. He was always a loser. He's an even bigger loser now. No special effects. The guy's just a loser. Because even when he was making money, making millions, multi-millions per fight, it's almost like he went out of his way to perpetuate negative stereotypes until, eventually, he became one. And that's all there is to it. The latest embarrassing ordeal of Adrian Broner about billions?
AB.
Or alcoholic bum?
AB.
That's all there is to it. Now over to the actual boxing news. This weekend it was reported that Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson announcement is expected very soon. It would seem that Teofimo Lopez, due to a scarcity of options, has doubled back, and he's willing to have that Shakur Stevenson fight. Turkey is willing to pay for it after he's the one that said that he would not work with Teofimo.
Because he disrespected his religion, because he disrespected his country. This is what he said on the Boxing Voice.
Guess he's not letting that get in the way of business, and let's be honest, if he puts Teofimo in the ring with Shakur, he's not actually doing him any favors. As we approach the final quarter of this year, it seems as though confirmation for the first major fight of the next one is right around the corner, as an agreement nears for Shakur Stevenson's super lightweight title challenge against Teofimo Lopez. Lopez, 22-1 with 13 knockouts, has held the WBO super lightweight crown for over 2 years after dethroning divisional poster boy Tosh Jailer. Since then, he has made 3 defenses of the belt against Jermaine Ortiz, Steve Claggett, and Arnold Barboza, respectively.
Claggett!
However, 3-weight world champion and reigning WBC lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson, 24-0, is seeking to progress further throughout the weight classes and make a statement on his super lightweight debut against arguably the standout fighter at 140. Whispers of their potential meeting have been uttered over the last couple of months, but at the Canelo vs. Crawford post-fight press conference following his generational win, Crawford called for Lopez to accept the Stevenson fight. And it looks like he's going to accept it. It looks like it's going to happen. If it does, Teofimo Lopez would become the crowned jewel of Shakur Stevenson's resume. He's got to win over then champions Jamel Herring and Oscar Valdez.
But Teofimo would be his signature win, and the biggest win of his career so far.
And everything, did that help you prepare for big fights like this? Definitely. Training since February. Absolutely. All right. Can I ask you something? What's up, Jimmy? You want to sign a contract to fight my little brother? There we go. Yes. I will fight him right now, but they want to wait till January, February. Hey, beat up right now. I'm going to sign the contract. Know that. Sign the contract. Know that. You ain't on that, baby. Know that. You ain't on that, baby. Right now, nigga.
In an interview with Boxing News, Lopez then revealed that an announcement can be expected imminently, with the fight date seemingly being the only remaining hurdle. It will be made official very soon. Up until everyone that is putting their money in and all the right people find the right date. That being said, Lopez went on to confirm that he expects the contest to take place in January before vowing to outclass Stevenson and make a statement of his own when they do eventually meet in the ring. Tune in. I see myself really outclassing him and showing a different side that no one has ever seen. Yeah, I believe I will win inside the distance. I think that is the only way it is going to make it a true statement to his team, to Crawford, and to everyone else that supports Shakur Stevenson. Stevenson's move up to the super lightweight division could open the door for highly rated Cuban Andy Cruz, 6-0, to get his hands on the lightweight world title due to his position as the #1 contender via the WBC. Should Stevenson trump Lopez and opt to stick around at 140, it is assumed that Cruz would fight the next viable contender, currently Panama's Ricardo Munoz, 26-7, with 22 knockouts for the newly vacated WBC title. That is according to the author of this article. That is according to whoever wrote this, but that's not how Shakur Stevenson said it would happen. The way he said it, he would move up, beat Teofimo, then move back down, and let his buddy Keyshawn Davis pick up the vacant WBO. That's what he said.
He can't hold both titles at the same time because the WBO won't let him. The WBO have a rule. If you hold an alphabet title with them, you can't hold another one at another weight.
They figured that if you're holding two separate alphabet titles at two separate weights, that may impede your ability to satisfy their mandatories, and thus, they make you choose. Shortly after becoming a WBO champion, they're going to make Shakur Stevenson choose. Does he want to stay at 140, or is he going to go down to 135? They're not going to let weeks and months go by before they get an answer.
You're pretty confident Shakur beats Teofimo, huh?
I am.
Even though you've been wrong about Teofimo so many times.
I have. And I don't dodge my comeuppance, I've been wrong. But even a broken clock is right, twice a day. When it comes to Stevenson versus Lopez, I am convinced Shakur beats him. Stylistically, I think Shakur is all wrong for Teofimo. Teofimo doesn't have the style, the temperance, or the work rate to make Shakur uncomfortable. Shakur is actually a little taller and a little longer than Teofimo Lopez, which would lend itself to his outside fighting. I figure that Shakur would keep it long and loose and on the outside, make Teofimo come to him.
That's when Teofimo is vulnerable, when he's on the front foot.
In the past, many would argue that Teofimo has dodged 1 or 2 bullets, that that Sandor Martin fight could have been scored the other way. The Jermaine Ortiz fight could have been scored the other way. But back then, Teofimo was with Top Rank. That was his safety net. This fight would not be a top-ranked fight.
Top Rank wouldn't have his back in this one. This would be a Turkey LL Sheik show.
Based on his previous struggles with boxers and movers, moving targets, and that Shakur Stevenson is a cut above those fighters, a cut above a Sandor Martin or a Jermaine Ortiz, he can fight an even better version of the fight that they tried to fight, and he can win it. I would go with Shakur.
Shakur on points would be the pick. I think that it's important that if Shakur gets him in the ring, it's not enough to just win. People are going to want you to stick it to him and put it on him.
Because of all that quasi-racist stuff that Teofimo has been saying, there is a golden opportunity there for Shakur to endear himself to the boxing fans by not just beating Teofimo, but outclassing him, by embarrassing him.
If they do it in February, that's Black History Month.
What might further allow Shakur Stevenson to put a stamp on a Teofimo Lopez win